What's the one secret you will take to the grave but don't mind telling on the internet?
I'm the only person who actually knows how my mom died. I told the rest of my family that her diabetes got her, but she OD'd. Her heart was broken after my little brother passed 3 months earlier, and she just stopped using discretion or moderation. The rest of the family had their suspicions, but I just kept lying. I definitely can't tell anyone the truth after that performance.
I'm so sorry you two had to go through losing your little brother, watching your mom give up, losing her too, and then lying to your fam. I hope you're doing okay.
I'm good. There was a lot of tragedy in a short period of time, but it was some time ago. My wife and I both lost our mothers, her sister passed, and 2 of my brothers, all in a 3-year period from 2018 to 2021. We were both in our 30s. I don't know how I'd have carried on without my wife's support. I'm convinced that she is the best person that there is. Of course, we miss everyone we've lost, and half of my music library is unlistenable because of raw memories, but we live our lives to the fullest in their honor. Thanks for the well wishes. Life is good. My biological mother passed away 2 months after I was born. My father allowed my stepmother to abuse me, and he joined in on the abuse. I was removed from the home at 5 because of this, and was raised by my maternal uncle and his wife. They were excellent parents for the most part. This year, I visited my uncle's grave for the first time in 20 years. I live 1,400 miles away now. This is one of those massive cemeteries that go on for miles. No one else was there. It was a Monday morning and raining. While I was there, I saw my biological father's grave nearby. I cursed him and literally peed on his headstone. It felt cathartic at the time, but I'm embarrassed by how gross and juvenile it is. I thought I was above such behavior. I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
Give me the location, I'll water it for you. I don't care how petty it might seem, he deserved it for allowing a child to be abused, then participating in it himself. I'm not a religious person, but damn, I hope he gets judged for his sins. Parents are supposed to protect kids.
I was in college and got a written arrest for stealing flea medicine from my puppy at Walmart. I was a broke college kid and couldn't afford the medicine, so I pocketed it. Got busted walking out. Super embarrassing, so never told anyone. That was 15 years ago, and my pup is still here, although very old and frail. I don't like my mom's magic cookie bars that she's been making since I was a child. She makes them when we come over, and I count on my spouse to eat them, since he does genuinely like them. She gets so excited to tell me that she made some for me, and I'm 20 years into this lie, so might as well keep it going. I had a thing like that with my mom, and if she ever makes some other dessert or cookies you do like, I would recommend spinning it like, "Can you make these for me again? I love them, maybe even more than your magic cookie bars. I didn't think it was possible, but these are my new favorite." I was big into crack at 17. Life was real shit then. I'm in my late 40s, and I still think about how I was taken from my friend's place by some dude in his 50s. He raped me and dropped me back off. I was so fucked up I just nonchalantly told my friends what happened and went about my day. I found out the next day he was murdered. It was a don't ask, don't tell situation. I'm married and have an easy and boring life now. Sitting at my kitchen table sipping my Earl Grey, having this pop in my head like it was no big deal back then. What a weird time that was. A friend told me a story about this plumber from her town. A guy who was real simple and kinda childlike, but more or less functional. This other guy was known to beat his girlfriend. The plumber told him after one incident in front of a bunch of people from town that if he hit her again, he'd kill him and shove a pipe up his ass. After the next time he beat her up, he was found dead in a ditch with a pipe up his ass. The police were unable to find any leads and quietly dropped the case. I spent 3 days giving my father morphine as he was slipping away. A couple hours before he passed, I took a nap at my place a couple miles away. My stepbrother called me to let me know he passed on. When I got over to his home to say goodbye, noticed the full bottle of morphine was totally empty. It had only been 2 hours. I don't know who did it for him. There were many people at the house. I'm thankful they did what they did. I never would have had the guts to do it.
My grandfather asked hospital staff straight up, "How long if I don't eat and refuse treatment for cancer?" 2 to 3 weeks. They were pretty close. They sent him home with instructions of what not to do for pain patches and overdosing on pain meds. They were very, very descriptive in what not to do so you don't die. He was a coded but instruction of how to fade out peacefully at home before hospice, but he wasn't fully ready and asked when he arrived at hospice, how long if I speed this up, basically. He died in hospice almost bang on the 2 to 3 week mark, on my birthday. If his wife, my grandma, wasn't religious, he probably would have taken the earlier route. But this non-religious man held on for his wife, attended church, which he has never done ever, and was focused on everyone else but himself at end of life.
I found my dad's Derringer pistol while looking for Xmas presents in my parents' room. I do not know why, but I picked it up, held it to my temple, and was going to pull the trigger, knowing that it wasn't loaded, of course. I was just going to make a bang sound and pretend I was dead. No idea why. At the last moment, I guess my caution got the better of me and I pulled it away from my head and angled it up. I pulled the trigger, it fucking went off and went through the wall. I instantly felt sick to my stomach. I opened the windows to get the smell out. I folded over the plaster so the hole was barely noticeable, and I got another bullet out and reloaded the one I just shot. They never noticed the hole. Nobody ever said a word about it. I still occasionally think about how that would have looked if I hadn't angled the gun up away from my head. My parents would have thought I killed myself in their room. I was a happy kid at that time. They would have thought they did something wrong and I was sending some kind of message. Nope, just a dumb kid doing dumb kid shit. When my son was first born, I called my public health office to put him up for adoption. He was 5 days old. He was a very much planned and wanted baby, and I had every mean to take care of him. Unbeknownst to me, it was the beginning of a battle with postpartum OCD, and I hadn't slept more than a couple hours for those 5 days, to the point I was hallucinating. Only 5 days in, and I couldn't take it anymore. The public health nurse came to my home immediately. She put my baby to sleep in his bassinet, then sat with me for hours at my kitchen table as I wailed to her everything I was afraid of. Thankfully, she knew I didn't want to put my baby up for adoption. I just needed help. She referred me to emergency therapy, a program made just for postpartum mothers. My son is 2.5 years old today, and thinking about that day still makes me physically sick. I love him more than anything, and he lives an amazing life with a now healthy and happy mom. Thank God for that nurse. My aunt's husband tried to SA me when I was in grade school. My parents weren't home from work, so I'd stay with my aunt. One day, she went out to buy groceries, left me with my cousin and her husband. My cousin was napping while I was doing homework. I stand up to go to the bathroom, and out the corner of my eye, I see her husband naked in his room. He gestures me to come closer. Thankfully, my aunt was arriving. I could hear her car in the driveway. He quickly put on his boxers. I was so confused by that interaction till years later. She divorced him, and apparently he assaulted a few people in our family. He's dead now. Nobody went to his funeral, not even my cousin.